Hi guys, Nick here from Gimme, and today I've got a very special guest of the channel, friend of the channel.
Thank you.
Inci Mehmet. Been excited to have you on the channel for a while now, so thank you very much for joining us. We're down here at Castle Golf Club in Berkshire. We just played a few holes, so you'll be able to check out that on Inci's channel. That'll be quite cool. We're going through some of the equipment pieces, right?
When I eventually come around to editing it, yes.
Yeah, but I want to now talk about, I want to get into the inner geeks here. I want to talk a little bit about the actual spec of the clubs here for you as well. Yep. So you're obviously with Callaway.
Yeah, through the bag.
But I want to dive into a little bit about your history from your playing days as well, and what you've played in the past equipment-wise, and then we'll work our way back up to what you've currently got here. So
yeah, so I mean, typically driver's the weapon. That's always been my favourite club in the bag, so a really important club to get right.
Yeah.
And so I do hit up on the ball a lot, especially with the driver in hand. Yeah. So I've always leaned towards a lower lofted club.
Yeah.
I actually used to have a heavier shaft in the clubs.
Let's have a little look what we got in here.
But ever since I've stopped playing, so I don't play anywhere near as much golf anymore.
Yeah.
I have opted for a lighter shaft.
Yeah.
And sometimes that, can affect the balance of a club, etc. But obviously I've been fitted for this.
Yeah.
And I've landed on a 55 gram stiff.
Yeah.
You'll probably know more about the technicalities on this.
Yeah,
but again,
so
low spinning head and low loft.
Callaway Elite Triple Diamond, 9 degrees, neutral standard setting. So you haven't done anything to the loft or the face angle here. You have got the heavier weight forward because you spoke about spin and how you like to try and bring the spin down, right? What would your roughly numbers be? Would you say club head speed?
Wow,
where do you like to see?
Now you're testing me.
When you've been fitted, ball speeds, launch spin, what do you typically like to see?
Within reason and within a window, obviously I've not really hit shots and looked at my data in nearly 5 years.
Yeah.
But roughly around the 152 ball speed mark. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, so about 105 club speed.
About 100, I'd say.
Yeah, okay.
Just flush it out the middle. My ball speed in equivalence is way hotter.
Yeah, that makes sense. 105 club head speed.
I reckon my launch angle would be between 12 to 13.
About 12. Yeah, that would make sense
memory.
for somebody who hits up on it, and then sort of low twos on the spin.
Exactly. So I've always looked at kind of like 2,200 spin.
Perfect.
I have no idea what I'd do it now, but again, I very much like to eyeball things now. It's sort of all about look and feel.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I know it's a low spinning head. I know I like to hit up on it.
Yeah.
And from a combination perspective, performs really, really well.
Yeah, got an Tensei AV Blue in here, 55S now, which, I mean, that's a great combo for what you're saying there in terms of the way that you like to hit it, and not going quite as heavy with the shaft nowadays. So if you have a couple of weeks off, which I'm sure you do because you're on the road so much, it just allows you to come out and
months, Nick.
It is months, yeah. You're a busy lady, but you're able to just come out and just play, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel like you have to really be giving this full 100% all the time. So I have to say, reviewed this year, great head, been really impressed with the Elite across the lineup. I know they took a bit of stick for the way they visually they looked in terms
Looks a bit more like an Epic, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've kind of gone back to that accent of silver and green on there. But as you said, you see there's a bit of a weapon for you, driver?
Big time. It's a very unoffensive looking club. I think it's sexy.
And I have to say, you hit some great drives there in the review, so I would stand by that as well.
Thank you.
On to fairway wood.
I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, so this is, you say, a new club for you in terms of the loft and everything as well on it. You've gone for something a bit different.
3HL. I had never heard of it before.
Yeah.
And Scott Pudders from Callaway fitted me for this.
Scotty.
And he was talking me through the tech.
Yeah.
Again, I'm more of a looks and feel sort of person. I'm basically polar opposite to you, who likes to geek out and know anything and everything about a club.
Yeah.
Naturally and visually, it's much shallower on that club face.
Correct.
And off the tee, it performs really well.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me is actually hitting it off the fairway.
Yeah.
Especially when I haven't practiced for so long. I think it sits so flush. You almost have this surface area that just rests so nicely. I actually play with Jamie Dornan. So he had this club in the bag. We were doing a on the course with episode.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it. I had one hit it and I said to Scott, I want to give it a go, and it's gone in the bag ever since.
50 Shades of Elite.
You got it.
Yeah,
boom. Well done.
So we've got the Hazardous RDX Smoke Black in here, 70 grams, 6.0. It's a stiff flex for the guys at home. Standard length?
Yeah, don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, that looks like it's about 43 to me. That feels like it's about 43. You've got it again, neutral, standard in terms of the loft and the face angle. 16.5 degree head, but it came out like an absolute rocket on that last tee when we hit it as well. So it's a nice combination.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I have always preferred to set my equipment neutral and standard settings.
Yeah.
Because I'm that classic golfer where I believe it's my fault
Yeah.
and not the club's.
Yeah.
So I'll set it in neutral
Yeah.
and I'll never leave it.
Yeah.
And I know you've played and filmed with some people recently.
Yeah.
Changed the settings and it's completely changed
Yeah.
their game. So what's your take on manipulating loft and
I think
lies, I guess?
you've got to work with the golfer on it to a certain extent, and some golfers want to be able to work it out themselves, like yourself. And then there's other guys who say, actually, look, this is my pattern. I want it to enhance it, or want to try and take away a miss. At which point, then the fitter can try and manipulate the face angle to give that player what they're after. So if somebody, let's say, they got a left-hand miss, they don't like seeing the face square or closed, they want to try and open that up to try and help them, you can do that. On the flip side, you've got somebody who's got a big right-hand miss, like we did when we did our video with the guys, the maze.
Yeah.
We wanted to try and close that face down for them to help them draw it. So I could set that up with a draw setting or upright setting and add more loft onto it.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a collaboration, to be honest with you. In an ideal scenario, obviously you're working with it, your technique, and you're doing that yourself, I would say. And I think better players will always go down that route. But I think the beauty is for the handicap golfer is actually you can really manipulate faces and get it set up so you can help them whilst they're making that change.
Yeah, and I think also a great example for people at home, if you do have a club where you've got about a gazillion different adapter settings, I know you offer a virtual fitting as well,
correct.
where you can essentially talk them through. Maybe it's not necessary to recommend them brand new clubs or, you know, direct them to a certain way, but it's actually helping them understand what they've got in their hand as well.
Absolutely, because, you know, all the tech's so good now, and if you're playing anything all the way up to, I would say, 7 or 8 years ago in terms of going back in the equipment world, it's going to be up to a relevant spec in terms of off the face and everything else. So there's you can pick up some older equipment depending on where your budget is as well, but make sure you get it optimized for yourself. So we do offer that with myself, where you can we can do the virtual call. Tell me what you've got. There might be some pieces of equipment that you actually quite like and we're just optimizing it, and then there might be some where we have to start again and go into some new stuff.
That is very, very cool.
But that's a new service we're doing now with Gimme.
Right, what do you want to see next? Because I've got 2 4-irons in the bag.
Yeah.
Because I thought I'd just bring them all.
Yeah.
Technically, I've got 3 actually. So I've got the 4-iron Apex TI Fusion, a utility iron. I've got the CB still in its wrapper. And then I think I have, or used to have anyway, the MB.
The MB.
I'm loving the TI Fusion.
Yes. So obviously the MB butter knife, very precise.
I might try that soon. That would make a great reel, actually.
CB looks like it didn't get played because, am I right in thinking that you've had a hybrid in play there as well?
Yeah, it's not in the bag right now, but I did have the hybrid in there.
I had hybrid in play,
But
but now you've gone for the Apex TI Fusion, which is a sexy looking piece of kit, I have to say. I'm in the same boat. I've used utility irons I've got an old Apex utility iron. And you must see a lot of these on tour, right? In the bags of the guys as well, especially coming out of open week.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say more on a linksy or kind of like windier course. I think the guys on tour don't have as much of an issue that I do with like the longest iron in my bag sort of thing, because they're a lot more powerful and better than me.
Yeah,
but it is a club that you definitely see, and they do travel with it.
You say that, but I mean, look at Rory. Rory's got that 760 tailor-made in his bag, which is sort of an iteration of before they had sort of the 770 and the 790s out. That is more forgiving than the blade that he plays in sort of 5-iron down. So I mean, Rory's about as good as it gets, right?
So you're saying with it same?
Basically, you're the same, you know. And you've got Scotty Scheffler plays a couple of Srixon driving irons as well. So absolutely.
So don't knock yourself.
Don't knock yourself. Don't knock yourself. This is definitely. And also, if you can make it easier, guys, why not?
100%. That is my sole goal.
Yeah, and you know, as I say, you're not playing as much anymore, so let the equipment do a little bit of work for you. Obviously, slightly bigger top line. Does that sort of bother you?
Well, I've not hit a load of shots with it. So far from what I found on the range, it does seem to turn a little bit more, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
And we have played a couple of holes off the tee. With my approach shot into this par 5, you can feel that kind of hotness in the face, but also the power behind it. Yeah. And I feel like if I wanted to hit it low, I could. If I wanted to hit it high, I could. If I wanted to shape it, I could. So I haven't tested it out to the nth degree, but I'm standing over that ball with the confidence that I know it is capable of it, because you just get that feeling when you have a club in your hand. It does feel like you can manipulate it whilst performing well with your stock shot.
I would encourage a lot of the watchers to go out there and try utilities and these driving irons. I think they can make this a less scary club, certainly, than what it can be if you're just playing the 4-iron out of your existing set. Dynamic Gold, 115, S300 in there as well, so its shaft just gives a little bit more pop, a little bit more lift. So it's going to complement the head quite nicely for you there as well. Okay. Perfect. Let's get into the irons, and these are relatively new as well. Is that right?
I think I've played 1 round of golf with them, but I have hit a couple of balls with them. Yeah. And visually don't look dramatically different from the MB,
Yes.
which I was quite surprised about because I know these CBs are a little bit more forgiving.
Yes.
And I do stand over the ball with a bit more confidence.
Yeah.
That top line doesn't look much thicker in the CB.
Yeah.
But these are pretty much kind of confident, aspiring irons where they still look and feel like an elite performing iron.
Yeah.
Because respectfully, when I initially retired and literally didn't play for almost like a year, I did put like these chunky monkeys in the bag. And what I found with them, yes, they're super hot and you can launch them.
Yeah.
But when I hit the shots out of the rough, I felt as though it was really difficult to get that club through the rough. So again, I don't know why, probably because I don't have a consistent swing anymore. I like to be able to manipulate shots, work it both ways, hit them high and low. Expectations are lower and the outcome hopefully is slightly better. So these fill me with confidence, but they don't look too performance improving and too scary at the same time.
A nice middle ground, right? You know, they've still got that bit of perimeter weighting in here. They've obviously got the mass is right behind the strike zone here, but they've got that little bit of a cavity up here, which we'll show you on some B-roll there. Still forged, so still great feedback, right? I say top line, mid, right, as opposed to being sort of butter knife thin. And in terms of the sole shape as well, quite cool here. They've got like a bit of a tri-sole on here as well. So they've done a little bit of, they've got just on here effectively.
Doesn't dig in as much, right?
Correct. And that's kind of what they're working on here. And then you go into more standard and they've actually taken the back edge off there as well. So tri-sole, clever piece of technology from Callaway there as well. That'll be what you're talking about when you get into the rough. Yeah. That'll be where you'll actually appreciate that slightly thinner sole.
See, it's amazing, isn't it? We're both saying the same thing, but we just sound completely different. But that's why I hit the shots and don't really think about the technicalities, and that's why you are the head.
That's the difference. That's the difference. You do the hitting. Dynamic Gold 115 mids in these as well. Great compliment for that head there. Very nice. Is that a sort of shaft you've played in the past? Have you anything that you did play that you quite enjoyed?
I have played with Nippon's 105s before.
Okay.
So again, gone slightly heavier.
Yeah, okay.
Which is quite surprising for me because I feel like I've slowed down.
Yeah.
But I just like the look and feel, the combination of them.
Yeah.
But I need to put my sunglasses on.
And then, very special guys, we've got brand new out the wrapper, beautiful piece of kit. I'm excited to see these as well, I have to say. We've got some of the new Callaway Opus SP wedges, which were released last week. So we've been very lucky to get our hands on these. Part of the beauty of being an ambassador, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't really know what to expect because I've had the old Opus wedges, and I say old, they're still relatively new. But I was like, if it's got the same name, how different can they be? Visually, I can absolutely see the difference. Again, I know you've got the kind of in-depth technicalities of these. But visually, I mean, this part of the club, what would you call that club?
Well, it's just the top edge, really, isn't it? But there's definitely more mass up there, isn't there?
Meat.
Definitely more mass. They've raised that centre of gravity, which, guys, SP, spin pocket. There's a cavity behind the face here. There's actually a cavity behind there, which we've seen now in full irons, but it's the first time we've kind of really seen it in wedges. And then the way that they've saved there, they've moved that higher. So this is actually their highest centre of gravity wedge that they've designed, Callaway. Their previous, the Opus, they had the tungsten at the top here in their platinum range. And
that's a very different weighted club.
Yes.
It feels so weird. I remember trying that and having it in my hand. You can almost rock it like a pendulum. You take it back and you can almost feel the weight just carrying you through. It's very, it takes a bit of time and getting used to. But I think those people that like to almost like drop the club head, you kind of do that, and that's how you get that tight, clippy, sort of spinny shots. But
exactly, I think this is almost like the best of both worlds. So this kind of a bit of the old Opus. And then obviously they've got some new tech in there as the SP, which is they're trying to really raise that CG like they did in that sort of platinum.
I like this grind as well. Obviously in this 52, it's a lot straighter, so much better for fuller shots.
So just to show the guys, we've got S grind, we've got the C grind here, which means that there's effectively a C shape that you get on here, and then you hit a beautiful bunker shot with this, which you'll be able to see on your channel, Inci, for the guys. But you've got this sole here, which you see a lot more of these now out on tour. It's wider, and it gives you that forgiveness out of bunkers particularly, and you showed it, demonstrated it very nicely.
I might just share that clip with you just so you can add it on here. Wow, Inci. That is loaded. Watch
Inci.
Zap.
Oh.
Fresh grooves, baby.
So far, from what you've tested with them, what would the feedback on them be?
Love. Love. I
Yeah.
can check my smile and the reflection. It looks all good. No, I mean, visually, they look incredible. You know, they're obviously fresh grooves, very spinny. I'm really looking forward to testing them out a little bit more.
Yes, and we've just complemented what we've done in terms of with the rest of the bag there in terms of shafts. Grip-wise?
Standard.
Yeah.
in the wedges.
Yeah.
Multi-compounds.
Yeah.
Standard, I don't have +1s or anything for
Yeah.
my teeny tiny hands.
Yeah. Perfect as well. Lovely. And then on to arguably the most important.
I'm toing and froing with this putter.
Yeah.
So I think it's an interesting conversation point. So my old putter, I'm going to grab it.
Yeah.
Be right back.
So we've got here square to square Jailbird, which as you guys will be able to see there, obviously the putter shaft enters the middle of the head there, and there is an angle as well, which you can probably pick up on camera here. And effectively that is 0 torque, which is...
So yeah, if I hold my finger there, you can see the club face is pointing up to the sky, and whereas if Nick does that, the face is pointing that way.
It just wants to stay there.
Tech-wise, I love it.
Yeah.
It comes off beautifully off the face. I love the weighting.
Yeah.
I love the grip and everything like that.
Yeah.
Visually, so because it's got that 3 degrees of lean, some people have told me to put my ball position further back. Other people said have it as normal and push your hands forward sort of thing. So I'm still kind of testing it out.
Experimenting with it, yeah.
Whereas this is the triple track 11 is definitely along the lines of the sort of putter and the style of putter I've had for longer. This is new tech altogether, but I'm sticking and keeping with this putter because I just love how when I rock it back, I feel like it just rocks itself through. Yeah. And it's so good as a putter to start it online.
Yes.
And then with the feel that comes with when you strike it, you know, off the middle, and you can practice that. Yeah. That's easy. That's an easy part.
It's effectively taking care of one sort of parameter, right? Which is face angle to path. So you're not having to think about that. You just have to make sure you just get that path nice and neutral. Jailbird in terms of the shaping of it.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a really interesting science, isn't it? So I would even consider getting rid of those dots at the top. So from an alignment perspective, if you actually test lining up, so if you're watching and you're one of those people that use a line on your ball, if you actually test that out, not many people can actually align their ball on their target. So what I really like about this Jailbird line, if you look at it this way, because you've got the perpendicular lines, visually, A, it mentally simplifies things for me. B, I just get to trust my instincts a bit more, and it does help me quieten down my mind. On the contrast and the flip side of things, I do play with a triple track Chrome Tour X ball, and then I do have a triple track pattern on this. So then obviously I would try and match everything there. However, it just depends. Like, you know, if I'm playing in a match and it really matters, I would use the line on the ball, and I do try and match everything up. But again, from like a feel perspective, I really like how reactive you can be with the Jailbird.
I have to have played with you a couple of times. You've putted really well with this so far. So it would be someone I'd like to try and keep in your hands, definitely from a fitting perspective. You look very comfortable with it, and it suits your stroke mechanics. So it looks like you find your target line very comfortably with it. So
well, I'm really fortunate. Seamus on tour has actually bent it a little bit, so it's flattened out, so I don't have to put as much of a lean and kind of balance everything out. So yeah, I'm definitely going to stick with that in the bag. It's just something different. It's something different to try, something different from a tech perspective. Again, I still really love this, so I would never get rid of it. I'm going to become one of those hoarders that just has a garage full of clubs. Smith.
Join the club. And ball wise, just briefly for the guys, so what are you in at the moment?
I use the Chrome Tour X again with the triple track. That's kind of all I can say. I must admit, I don't play often enough to really have an in-depth sort of, you know, kind of review on the sort of ball. I've told the guys and the fitters what, you know, they know my numbers. This is the ball that they suggested me with. I love the feel of them. I love the look of them with the triple track. But I mean, you could put anything in my hand. I could shoot anything. From
well, it's a very popular ball out on tour. Obviously, Xander used it very well last year for a couple of major championships, so he's done great. Last couple of questions from me. Anything in the bag that's a little bit obscure, or take me back to your playing days, because we're all a little bit, you know, we've got our superstitions and whatnot. Anything in particular you used to do? Was it 3 tees in the right pocket?
Well, tees in the hair.
Okay, tees in the hair.
First of all, I know it's not what's in the bag. Any quirks? Not so much. I mean, like right now I've got my meta glasses, so you've got the POV stuff, which is really, really cool. But I don't know, like I'm just trying to think. I always used to use the same marker, which I don't use anymore, so that's kind of gone out the window.
What's your must-have in the golf bag? You know, the
issue is, Nick, I've got issues, and I'm like a bit OCD. So ahead of this, I basically completely cleaned out my bag, so I've got nothing in there to show you. But no, I mean, like, jokes aside,
that's why it felt so light. I'm relieved, to be honest with you.
No, so like, I've never been the sort of golfer to have those sort of kind of like quirks, I guess. I'm just trying to think.
You
really.
do have one piece of kit, and we'll just talk about very briefly, Bushnell.
Yeah, this is new in the bag.
Rangefinders are something that I think pretty much every golfer has in the bag nowadays. You were talking me through this as a piece of kit. This sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I've lost about 3 of these in the past. I'm not saying this model, but because they're so magnetic, you can put them in buggies when you're traveling.
Right.
You forget about them.
Yeah.
Just recently been gifted the Bushnell Tour Hybrid.
Yeah.
And the very first sort of rangefinder I've ever had is a Bushnell.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I can see the difference from the very first few versus to where it is now.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys won't be able to see exactly. One, love the kind of premium look and feel of these and the way you can grip it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
But when you do Zapper Flag, which is very easy to do,
yeah,
I love how in this feature it gives you a front middle back.
Yes.
It's got a GPS system built in,
yeah,
which is absolutely wicked. And obviously you've got that slope you can switch on and off.
That's a cool piece of
But
kit.
it's wicked for me, obviously, on the road traveling. I just clip this on my little belt and I feel like a sniper. So whenever I've got a shot, and then I move on.
And if you ever see one laying around on the ground, it's probably Inci. So just
mine.
at her on Instagram and just give it back.
I might put my name and number on this one. So if you find out, please return it. Thank you.
Guys, I hope you found some value in that. Let me know any of that Callaway equipment you're currently playing in your bag. How have you found it? I've done some reviews that are on the channel. So if you want to find out some more information on some of the Elite gear, some of the Apex gear, go out, check that. I've got an SP review coming very soon on the channel as well. In the meantime, Gimme Market, go check it out. Manners Marketplace for you guys to get your second-hand equipment. Inci, thanks very much. Always an absolute pleasure. Let's try that fist pump once more time. Guys, we'll see you very soon for another review.
Thanks, guys.